it's Deanna, and I am here on live today because we are working on the Live Well, Live Strong quilt, and today we are working on the Accept block. So the Live Well, Live Strong quilt is all about women's health and wellness, and the Accept block is an aspect of health and wellness that I think is important for women, because often we don't accept ourselves, we don't accept life the way it is, and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to share with you that the blog post is up live that has all to do about women's health and wellness and acceptance in our lives. So hi you guys, it's so fun to see everybody. There are free worksheets, so whether or not you're doing the Live Well, Live Strong sew along with us, hi Daniela from Holland, that is so fun. Whether you're doing the sew along with us or not, there are free worksheets for you guys to enjoy that you can download for free. If you're doing the sew along, then you've got the pattern. You would have purchased the pattern for the quilt, and I'm going to show you guys how to stitch together this Accept block. So let's go ahead and get started. I am sorry we were about 30 minutes late on our live today, but my really awesome assistant, which you guys know, Matt, they are moving this week from one house to another house, just very close together. But it's a pretty complicated week moving and stuff like that. So I am just so excited to have Matt here to help me and to do everything. Hi, Robin. Hi, Angie. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. And I haven't seen everybody who's on YouTube and Facebook, but Matt will turn the screen in just a moment, and then I'll see all of that too. So, oh, there we go. I see you, Randy and Susan and Geraldine and Angela and Liz. So glad that we're all here together. So the Accept block is, I intentionally made this block. So it's very simple, as always. It's almost just like a 4 square block. You can see 4 units to this block. But I really wanted it to mirror itself. So if we folded this Accept block into a diagonal like this, it would be as if we were mirroring it. So you can see that this is pretty much the same as this side, but there's just some differences where this is a blue block right here, and these are white blocks. And so sometimes we're really similar to a situation in our lives, or we're similar to other people, but we need to mirror things and accept things for what they are and how they are. So what we are talking about today is accepting ourselves, accepting other people, accepting life's circumstances and the craziness that there might be going on in our lives, but trying to let go of some of the stress that there is. In fact, Matt, there's a little notebook with lines on it. Yes, that one. And there is a Buddhist quote that Elise and I, which she's another team member at Stitches Quilting, she says, suffering is equal to the pain and the resistance that we feel in a situation. So sometimes we need to accept things so that we're not pushing back on that resistance, and that will give us less pain. So by not having that pushback. But let's get down to working on this quilt block. So let me go ahead and show you. Let's do the overhead camera if we can, Matt. So we've got the worksheets right here. There's some great quotes and things in there. But I want to go ahead and show you that this block, in the pattern that we have here, whenever you see something that is highlighted like this right here, then what I want you guys to do is you're going to be squaring up a portion of the block before we sew it all together. So you can see this little highlighted unit. So let me go ahead and show you guys that in specifics. So we've got lipstick. We're using our lipstick colored fabric, but I need to cut one more square for you guys for this block because I have a sample block. We had some red squares cut, but really in this quilt block, it's lipstick, which is a great color. It's just kind of a playful, fun color. So I'm going to use my 4-inch ruler here, and I'm going to just cut off a piece of this lipstick fabric that's about that yay so wide, and I'm going to bring it over here, and that will work. And then we're going to cut it to the completed the size that the pattern says. So I'm going to go ahead and just line this up over here and then get it nice and square the way it needs to be. Now, I didn't want the cutting of all the instructions to be too specific that you wouldn't be able to square up your block. So let me change the camera for Instagram real fast so you can see exactly what I'm cutting. Okay, so we've got right here, now we have 2 of these lipstick blocks right here, and we are going to be dealing with and you can see I'm working on mine in different colorways, the peach, the black and white. So we organize our pieces in Ziploc bags. How do you organize your quilt pieces? Hi, Diane. Hi, Sophia. But let me know how you guys organize your quilt pieces as you're cutting it out. Do you just cut out the blocks as you go? How do you organize everything? So let's go ahead and lay this block out on the just small design board right here. And remember, we're going for this look right here. So actually, why don't we rearrange these just a little bit. So you're watching from Kansas. Hi, Jean. Welcome from Kansas. I'm actually in Salt Lake City, Utah, but we have got people from all around the world. We've got some people from Holland. We've got some people from all sorts of different places. New Zealand. Hi, Helen. How are you doing? We've got people all over the world doing the sew along. So this is our little quilt block right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to piece together these 2 half square triangles. But half square triangles can kind of shift and get their little bit of bias along the way. And I always roll off my extra threads from other projects on here. I don't know about you guys, but I love having a lint roller in my studio. So I'm going to place these 2 half square triangles right sides together. And remember, as you're stitching, it is on the bias, so it does have an extra stretch to it, and you can see that stretch. So, but let's go ahead and take it over to the sewing machine right here. And I'm going to just go ahead and do my 1/4 inch stitch length. So we're going to bring this on over. So what are some things that are hard to accept in life? Oh, Elizabeth, so the Ziploc bags and then scrapbook storage bins. What a great idea for organizing everything. You are absolutely right. But I think sometimes as women, we can sometimes get really, and here we're matching up these 2 other pieces. So I'm going to match them right sides together. And this is that background blue that we're using in the quilt, and then our white piece of those 2 triangles. I'm not pinning them right now. I could be. Did you guys see that Dolores got her quilt top done? I don't know if you guys have been watching the Live Well, Live Strong hashtag, or in the Facebook group, but Dolores got her quilt finished, and I'm so proud of her. And it's so beautiful. So she has her quilt top done. We are on week 11 of this sew along. So you can see here I just did a 1/4 inch seam. And then we open these up. Then they're 2 half square triangles. So let me go ahead and press this over on the overhead camera. And you can see here, I'll just set my seams real fast. And then we'll go ahead and press this. So we could be pressing this with our seams open, just pushed over to the dark side, which the darker side here is the blue, which it doesn't seem very dark at all, does it? Whoop. Okay, and then let's bring this down. Now I'm going to show you what's unique on this pattern. So what we're doing here is on the pattern, let me move this to the side. Remember, it is at this square unit where the pattern is highlighted right here. So it has a gold box along it, and it asks you to please piece this together as a square and then press and trim that highlighted unit down to the 3.5 inches square. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take off some of the excess fabric that's on these 2 units and just bring them down to 3.5 inches square. So there are times that I have you guys do that in the pattern because it can be a little bit tedious to have you guys cut some really obscure sized cuts for squares or triangles and stuff. And then the other reason is because since we're cutting on the bias at times, then it's good to square up your units before you sew them together. So there is an instruction down at the bottom of the page whenever you see a highlighted area around a quilt block. So remember, it's this little highlighted area around that quilt block right there. So and it helps you square it up and have a flatter block. But if any of you guys were feeling a little bit confused, that is definitely what we're doing right there, is I'm just having you guys square that up just a little bit more. So let me go ahead and just make sure I'm at a good 3.5 inches right here. And so I'm just squaring them up just so they'll really fit together extremely nicely. I don't know about you guys, but I love for my things to match and to work. And I also don't want you guys to go too crazy when you guys are cutting things apart. So let's go ahead and look at this real fast. So here it is. And we're stitching this right like that. So now you can see all of these blocks are the exact same size right there. So pretty good. So now let's go ahead and just sew these right sides together. And we'll bring it back over to the sewing machine and we're going to just stitch them like that. And here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. So you guys, I cannot believe all the quilt blocks you guys are getting done. And I hope you guys enjoy this week of just saying to yourself you're going to accept something about yourself. It doesn't mean that you're settling for something less. But sometimes if we accept something, it can just hold less energy in our bodies that's a negative energy that we might be carrying around. So for example, if we've got somebody to forgive in an extreme circumstance, perhaps somebody was driving intoxicated and then ran over a child of ours and took their lives. I'm now going to stitch these together. Now we can forgive that person and kind of maybe not live with as much frustration and energy, negative energy that's going on there. You guys, did I sew this right? I don't think I did. Look at that. Holy cow, let's look at this. So what happens in a situation like that? Let's go back to the overhead. Okay, I've stitched that wrong. I thought I was going to get it right. Can I turn something around here? No. Okay, whatever. Okay, we're going to unpick this. So say you're that anger and that frustration, I'm giving a really extreme situation. Say that anger and that frustration of not being able to let go of that, which that's a situation that you might not ever let go of. But what you can do is set healthy boundaries with somebody, and they don't even need to know it. You don't have to call them and tell them. And just say, hey, I am not going to allow myself to be exposed to any more things. Maybe I unpicked the wrong one. This needs to go this way. Holy cow. That needs to go that way. I sewed this wrong, you guys, completely. Okay, let's go ahead and unpick this just a little bit. But we can go ahead and set boundaries and say, okay, I am never going to let that person drive by any of my loved ones again in my life. And so I'm going to set a healthy boundary that they are not going to be around my loved ones. And then be able to hopefully maybe let some of that go. Let's go ahead and go and try to stitch this together again. Holy moly. Okay, which I need to accept myself and that I can make mistakes, right? And especially while I'm sewing here live. Anyways, but there are so many different ways of, by accepting something, but setting healthy boundaries, that we can go ahead and be able to move on in our lives and not feel as so much contention or so much negative energy. Boy, I sure hope I am stitching this right. I'm going to cry. I'm going to check this twice. I feel like I'm talking about Santa. Okay, yes, this is right. So we're going to go right here. Checking it twice. The list, naughty or nice, whatever. I don't know. I'm checking my blocks twice. But yeah, so there are so many different ways. So you showed the students how to correct a mistake. Yes, it makes us real. Absolutely. Absolutely, Robin. But there's so many different ways we can forgive someone else so that we don't harbor all of those feelings. And let's go ahead and keep this right on. So you can see now I've stitched this correctly over here. Well, that's pretty close. Anyways, but I'm going to face these right sides together, and I'm going to go ahead and just put these on. And I'm giving myself a good finger press there. Usually I go to the iron every single time, but that's okay. So so we can accept ourselves, accept other people, and accept the life circumstances. So say, for example, life just gives us a really bad deck of cards or something. You know, at some point in time, I remember when Luke was born, and we were getting ready to run out of gas, and we were on our way to church, and I was being really like a negative Nancy, and I was really kind of frustrated with the situation, which that's okay. It's okay to be frustrated. But I was saying to my husband, we are just going to run out of gas. There's no reason to hope. Let's just not even hope. And we're just going to run out of gas. Why bother even hoping? And he knew I was talking about something different. Okay, let's go to the overhead camera. So he knew I was talking about something different. So eventually he said, Deanna, you know, if we just hope, it's going to make the ride a little bit nicer. Isn't that so funny? Yes, Jean, the Serenity poem is such a good thing. But really, sometimes if we can kind of accept and not feel as bitter and as resentful, then we can often just have a better ride and a little bit less stress. Let's go ahead and go back to the front-facing camera. Let's see here, Robin. Yes, you have to try to keep yourself surrounded with positive people and good people in your life, because it can just really become like a negative force. So we do want to, so here's the two accept blocks right here. That I have one as a sample and then one that I just finished right now. But I want you to know that this is just such a wonderful topic out there. And, oh, Elizabeth, your 8-year-old wants to make the quilt. That is so fun. But let me go ahead and just share with you a couple quotes. You have to accept whatever comes. This is by Eleanor Roosevelt. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with courage and with the best you have to give. So I thought that was a beautiful quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. And boy, she really, did a lot of things. Here's another one that's by Isaac Hayes, and it says, if you enjoy the fragrance of a rose, then you must accept the thorns which it bears. So, yes, there are times that we need to accept the thorns that come with the beautiful scents. Here's one by Joseph Campbell. Hi, Carolyn. It's so good to see you. It says we must let go of the life we have planned so that we can accept the one that is waiting for us. And I know in my lifetime, there were times that I kind of had my life planned out and I thought, oh, this is what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden a bump came in the road and things weren't going quite the way I had planned. But then, you know what? It was a much better plan as what happened than the one that I had intended. So sometimes it's hard, but we do have to sometimes accept our limitations. I love it sometimes when I run out of fabric and when I run out of things, and then I just accept that situation and I say, oh, I'm going to just use what I've got. And I end up being so much more creative by accepting sometimes the limits that I have. And by then working with what I have. And I end up making the most beautiful things that I am so proud of because I stayed within the limitations of what I had. So I hope you guys enjoy this week of accept in your lives. I don't know if you guys have any other examples of just some really fun or fun things that you guys can share, but we are going to do a giveaway of this light blue background fabric that we've been using. And what is this called? It's called Aquamarine, and it's a blender shade, and we use this in the quilt, and I think it's been a wonderful background to use that has a little bit of texture. So let me go ahead and share and make sure that we've got some winners of that fat quarter. So we'll mail you a fat quarter of fabric for that. But I hope you guys enjoy this week of just focusing on accepting things, even accepting strangers. You might be driving down the road and someone cut you off. And what I say to myself is I have no idea what that person is going through. They might have just gotten a call that said that their mother passed away. And even if their mother didn't pass away, they're in a space that's making them not being as aware as others. And I don't have to be the one that corrects them with that. Don't you think? So I don't know, you guys. It's too funny. But those are just some of my thoughts. So maybe if someone's frustrating you as you're driving or when you're at the grocery store, I know Luke at Walmart and at the grocery store when he was younger, he used to have the hugest temper tantrums. You guys can think about me when you have someone that you might be frustrated with. So anyways, okay, so that's thank you, Anna. Thank you. You're so sweet. So those are just some of the small little things to think about this week for the Accept block. And remember, this is the Live Well, Live Strong quilt that's right behind me. And this entire quilt is all about health and wellness for women. And so last week we were doing industry, and you guys, I did so much spring cleaning of the yard and the house and the garage. So I was very industrious, and we had such a great time. And we also did it as some parts of it as a family, and it was really great bonding as a family as we were being industrious. So okay, let's hurry and get some winners here. And so let's have on Instagram, let's have Anna Tobin, and let's have Daniela Caveat. And what I need you guys to do is I need you guys to go ahead and send me your email or your mail addresses so I can mail you the fat quarter of fabric of this background. Okay, now on YouTube, we have got... Let's see who we have. And I've got my little scrolling thing. As I can see what the people that are there that are actually, interacting with the video and the comments, then that helps me. But so let's go ahead and do Elizabeth Do It. So do it. And let's do Robin. Let's do Robin that's on YouTube. And you guys, it's so fun because some of you guys, I'm like mailing weekly packages. YouTube is a great place to absolutely watch from because there's not as many people there. And let's see if there's somebody else. How about Diane57M? And let's see if you are still on and can respond. And then let's see here on Facebook. Okay, so Josephine Henry on Facebook. Let's do that. So we've got that one right there. And then let's do Carolyn Schofield. It's so fun to see you, Carolyn. And I need to write down Josephine's name because I didn't write it down. If I don't get this information to Elise really right, if my handwriting is nasty, sometimes we have problems. And I do need you guys to send me your email or your mailing address unless I've shipped to you before. Let me find somebody else that is on Facebook. So let's go ahead and go with, I see Barbara from Pennsylvania. And that is actually where I was born, was in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and go with that. Okay, so we have 3 people on Facebook, 3 people on YouTube, and 2 people on Instagram. So thank you, you guys. So I'm so glad. So think about what in life that I even did a thing of here on one of the worksheets of here, either we can accept or we can decline something. And sometimes it's easier to think about it as we're answering a phone or anything like that. So be sure to download your worksheets. If you're on Facebook, all you have to do is say, send me the worksheets, and Facebook will automatically send you the link to this blog post and where you can download the worksheets. And so these are there for free. The pattern is for sale at Stitches Quilting, so you guys can go grab that if you want to. When you're doing your blocks, be sure to square things up. I always like to have my blocks be nice and flat. And if you square things up as you're going along and sewing things will end up being really nice and beautiful. And you've got to go and check out Dolores Rast's quilt on Facebook and on Instagram. Use the hashtag #LiveWellLiveStrong. She's got her whole quilt top finished and it's so beautiful. She's now trying to brainstorm ways to quilt it. And then you can share things in the Everyone Can Quilt Facebook group, is where we share all of our blocks and our progress as we're quilting and we're sewing together along. So anyways, you guys have a very good day. Let me know if you guys have anything else going on. And oh my goodness, Angela, I'm sorry your dad passed away on Easter. Doggone it. But I am glad that you're quilting and that you've got a good space to go, because quilting is definitely a healthy space for all of us as women, and just a great healthy hobby. And I'm glad we all have each other. So you guys have a very good day, and we will see you guys a little bit later. And thank you so much for joining us. And next week, our block is going to be about healing, and I'm so excited about that block. It's one of my favorites, is the heal block. So be sure to subscribe on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram, and be sure to turn on post notifications, because heal is going to be such a fun week, and I can't wait to have everything done and publish that blog post and everything else. So we'll see you guys later. Love you guys tons. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.